All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Bros podcast.
How's it going, everybody?
My name is Harris. I'm here with my brother Nick for the first time on
First time together in this podcast.
Yeah, first time together.
We've been doing it remotely, and it already feels cooler to do it in person.
Right. And I think we're gonna try to do next week's podcast too.
Yeah.
Since we'll be in the mountains, so we'll try to see if we can like sneak off to a room.
We can do in the mountains?
I think so. I'll probably bring like.
We can do it in the basement.
Yeah, I'll probably bring my tablet. That way we have like a little bit bigger span of like camera.
Yeah.
So that it should be able to work.
Yeah.
We could either not do a live stream and then just do just audio, and then we could just use our phone. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to another episode. Episode 3, back at it again. So I guess we'll dive right into it. Start talking about what we've been playing last week. I'll be honest, I have not played a ton of games. I don't know, I've been kind of busy and stuff, so
yeah.
Of course, I dived a little bit deeper into the Pokemon. I've got about 3 hours in, and yeah, I'm liking it a lot so far. I mean, it's nice to finally get Pokemon on a big screen.
Yeah.
I played a little bit handheld when I went to bed one night. I went to bed a decent time, and I was like, I'll play about 45 minutes or so. And but yeah, it's definitely another Pokemon game, but
for sure, yeah, 100%. It is.
But it's
Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's fun. I definitely like the quality of life improvements they've added.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they had an option in the last one to where you were in like when you're on the battle screen, and instead of having to like dig into your items, you just press X and it'll pull up your Pokeballs.
I don't think they did.
So I'm not 100% sure if they did, but if they didn't, that's a huge
awesome.
change, because they don't really tell you in the game. I just happened to press X for some reason, and it pulled the Pokeball up, and I was like, holy crap, that's awesome.
I was like instinctively going into the bat.
Yeah, that's what I was
first,
doing.
And I just looked at my screen and saw a little Pokeball icon. I was like, what?
Yeah, so there's
shortcut.
Yeah, so like the new Pokemon I've seen have been pretty cool looking. There's a couple that are like, but there's always some like that aren't as cool.
Yeah.
But even then, like usually their evolutions are pretty cool too. So.
Yeah, I've already got some favorites.
Yeah, I definitely and I really do enjoy the fact that, and I think it started with the last game, was when they take older Pokemon and they kind of give them like a new fresh look. And like a new typage and stuff, like with Zigzagoon and a couple other. I know there's more, and I haven't seen. Meowth, Ponyta, Weezing looks really. I don't know if you've seen coughing and wheezing.
Yeah, it's like
I haven't seen it in the game yet,
but
I've
British.
So it's definitely very, very cool, and I like the fact that it does take somewhere in England,
right,
or the Galar region or whatever is,
England based.
So it's definitely got like that steampunk vibe everywhere.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool.
It's pretty cool.
I think definitely for future iterations, they should start doing like the Galarian forms.
Yeah.
For older Pokemon, because that just it keeps them fresh. Like, I don't want to walk around and see a regular Ponyta in like the next 10 generations.
Yeah. After you've played 7 generations of these things, or 6 or whatever it is. Yeah, it gets kind of stale.
Yeah.
And it's a good way for them to, like you said, to kind of refresh, and they don't always necessarily have to pack in like 100+ new Pokemon. They can just do a cool spin on an already fan favorite and make it cooler and refresh them up a little bit.
Because it added I think it was around 70 or 80 new Pokemon.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if they count the Galarian forms as new.
I don't know if they do that either.
No, I can't imagine they do, because they're like the same like the same number.
Yeah, that's true.
Or whatever.
They just have different forms and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm about 7 or 8 hours in, and I just completed the 3rd gym, and then it kicked me out and it put me back in the wild area, and I have to like go through a different part of the wild area to progress further. And
so is it a different wild area, or is it kind of the same?
No, it's the same one. So you have that like big, almost oval like area, and then there's a bridge to your right.
Gotcha.
And that's where you get to the 4th gym.
Nice. Love you.
Nice. And that's where you get to the 4th gym. And the second you step over that bridge, there's a bunch of new Pokemon. And
Oh, okay.
It's so tough because like I'm always going to bed and I'm playing Pokemon. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna play for like 5 more minutes.
Yep.
I'll battle a Pokemon, I'll catch it, and then I'll just walk around for 2 seconds and I'll see a new one. I'm like, well,
Gotta catch it.
It might be gone.
Yeah.
Gotta,
This might be the only time I ever get a chance to catch this thing.
So right before I came over here, I spent 20 Great Balls catching a Sweeble, which is like the little gray human-like guy with the claws.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember what he is, but I think I remember. It's like the Pokemon in that area, like past the bridge, they're so hard to catch. I don't know why. I don't know. I might be like slightly underleveled because I'm constantly switching out my team just to level up.
I think there's been one time at this point where I haven't caught a Pokemon instantly, or after 3 shakes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been pretty easy so far. The game's been pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll get a little more challenging, but Pokemon games are usually like crazy hard. The only time I remember it being super hard was like the original, like Red and Blue, where you're doing the Elite Four. I remember it just being tough, but I mean, I was 8 years old, so who knows?
Yeah, I remember getting stuck on the Elite Four for forever when I was younger.
Yeah,
but it's probably because I had like all fire types in my team or something like that, or I just leveled up my starter.
Yeah,
my other ones were completely underleveled, but yeah, no, it's been fun. It's a good game. Yeah, it's getting too much hate for.
Yeah, just because of the whole Pokedex thing, and is it? I think it's kind of how the Wii U was like a half step to the Switch. I think this is a half step towards the proper Pokemon game we always wanted when we were like kids, walking around, whether that's like an MMO style game or just, maybe, because even the Pokemon walking around, it's not super detailed. I mean, this is kind of them running or whatever, and like even like the flying is like kind of.
It's kind of robotic.
Yeah, it's very robotic. So I think it's a half step, and then maybe we'll get a new Pokemon game in a few years, and it's gonna be like the thing that we really want. I just think people are just a little too harsh on it for because they took out a lot of Pokemon to try to go into more of the animation, and even the animation isn't super great. I mean, some stuff looks good, but then there's some stuff that not so much. So. I think we're just at a half step towards something that we're dreaming of, but even still, it's another Pokemon game, and has there really ever been a bad mainline Pokemon game?
I've never like actively disliked one.
Yeah, and I've usually bought all of them.
All of them. I
think the only ones I didn't. No, I did. I think Black and White 2.
I didn't play them.
I think I got later on, and went back and played it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I've played every mainline Pokemon game, and they've always been so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to my save screen at one point, and I'm like, oh, it's already been 5 hours.
Yeah.
So like it kills time.
I don't know why, but like spending time in this game compared to a game like The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have almost 10 hours in Pokemon, and I have 10 hours in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And like the time sync just feels a lot different. Like it feels like I've put so much more time in The Witcher, maybe because I'm like. I have to be so actively engaged in it.
Yeah, Pokemon, you don't really have to be.
No, not at all. You can.
I mean, you could
watch a show or literally talk to someone while you're playing.
Yeah, it's different. It's not. It's kind of like just a very slow paced game where you just kind of chill, and like it's not hard. It's not brutally hard.
No.
So
like earlier I was talking on the phone with my girlfriend, and I had it on like the one hand mode where you can do everything on one hand. I was like,
wait, it has that?
Yeah, you can you can turn on simple mode in the options.
Oh, wow.
And you can just play it all with one hand. So I just had my phone to my ear, and I was just like kind of.
Oh, so you're using like the Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was using the Joy-Cons.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, so yeah, it's definitely I do notice that it does look better docked than it does undocked. Just slightly, the graphics look a little muddier, but I mean even then,
it's a little muddier when you're.
Like
undocked?
Undocked when you're on handheld. They look a little not as clean, but it's definitely not the prettiest Switch game out there. But it does look very nice, like especially like in the cave I am in right now.
Oh yeah,
it's super nice looking. So usually most Pokemon games look nice, but
and it's cool to just be able to move your camera.
Yeah. Once I got out to the wild area, I was like, yeah,
it's like this is what a Pokemon game. Like should be the entire thing.
So it was very cool. Yeah. So maybe one day we'll get to where we dreamt up as, and honestly, like if they released like a Pokemon MMO or something, I don't know. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Anything else you've been playing this week?
So I finished up Katana Zero. I know
Okay.
I talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It kind of ended abruptly. It's a pretty short game. It took me 4 or 5 hours to beat.
Keep talking. I'm gonna go check on the calendar real quick.
Okay, but the game just kind of ended like abruptly. Like the story was really great up until this point, and I thought it was gonna go somewhere. Like I thought it was kind of gonna go further than it actually did, and then it stopped. It kind of left on a cliffhanger. So I think they're gonna make a second one, maybe.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's one thing that might be like. Hopefully, when Nintendo does their sale, maybe that's gonna be the ones that are on sale.
Yeah,
so I'll probably pick it up because I think is it only on Switch?
I think it is.
Because I'm always hesitant just because Microsoft does such a good job of like getting games on Game Pass.
Yeah.
There's some stuff where I've almost picked it up on Switch and then it came out on Game Pass and I was like, yeah. So
they have some killer deals on Xbox.
Yeah. So the only thing else I've been playing is I played my internet's been out the past 3 days. So I was at work we were at a friend's house and we came home and I was a little litty.
A little toasted?
Not like super toasty, but
yeah.
Because I came home and had a couple more drinks. And then I started messing with the internet and I got pissed, and then it was the next day I was at work and I called my wife and I was like, just call North State and see what's going on. Is it our stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Is it their stuff? And it ended up being on their end. So that was good, but I missed a lot of because normally I like to play Halo and all that good stuff. But I did manage to squeeze in a little bit of Halo Reach. I've just been trying to going back to there just to play since they got but not Halo Reach, Master Chief Collection.
Oh, okay.
Master Chief Collection, and then that way I'm a little bit more used to the older style controls.
Yeah.
And just kind of getting prepared for Reach because I'm pretty excited for Reach.
And that's December
3rd.
3rd.
Yeah. Which is on
next week.
Yeah, it's
next.
I think it's next month, or no, it's either Monday or Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Tuesday.
Yep. So that's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Go home and check that out. Yeah. Other than those two games, that's
you beat Life Alyx, right?
I did, but I think I forgot to talk about that last week. But yeah, I finished up Link's Awakening. Just a super fun game.
Yeah. Did you struggle on the last boss?
I did. There was a couple forms that they don't really tell you anything how to fight them.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up, and once I looked it up, it was super easy.
Yeah, I couldn't figure them out for the life of me.
Yeah, the first two were pretty easy, and I think it's the form where he's like jumping around and throwing the katana or sword at you, and then you have to dash at him.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
I wouldn't have either. And then there was another form where he like disappears and like comes up next to you, and you have to like shoot your like fire rod at him.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the game was pretty simple, pretty easy.
Yeah. Are you getting all the seashells?
I'm probably gonna go back and finish it. I've got I got the tunics or whatever, tunic of power, and then you can always go back and get the tunic of defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably at some point maybe over break go get the shells and stuff. And then but yeah, the game was a lot of fun. I remember a lot of it from a kid, from playing as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the frame rate, there's quite a bit of frame rate issues, especially when you get to the grass. That's a little disappointing, but nothing crazy. I mean, you kind of expect, I guess, more out of Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm wondering what happened
in
that development.
Yeah. So I don't know. As I saw that it did do an update at some point, but it looks like it didn't fix whatever, or it didn't fix the frame rate stuff.
Right. And
then, of course, the pricing maybe a little high, but
I think $40 would have been perfect.
Yeah, I think 40. It's definitely got the Nintendo tax on it. But, their games are always expensive and stay expensive for forever. But yeah, $40 would probably been the sweet point with that. But
well, let me
still.
ask you a question. If they remade Ocarina of Time again in HD and upscaled it to make it look like similar in graphical capacity to Breath of the Wild, would you pay $60 for it?
I probably would. I mean, it's Zelda. I mean, I think they'd have to do a little more than just a graphical update because I mean they did that already with the 3DS, and that looked really good.
Good, yeah.
Maybe if they up the res a little more and then bundled Majora's Mask and Zelda Ocarina of Time together for 60, I would definitely buy that.
That'd be like a perfect
but I mean, at this point, any sort of Zelda game they put on Switch, they updated the graphics or something. I'm all for them putting any sort of port out. I think it was IGN's like April Fool's Day thing a couple years ago, and it was like a Nintendo Direct style.
And it was this year.
Was it?
Yeah, where they like announced a port for every.
Yeah, it was like Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then it's like everything's coming to the Switch. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'd be down for any sort of Zelda thing.
Any collection of Zelda games you want to put on the Switch.
Now that I'm thinking about something, I do want to go back to Pokemon for 1 second. So also with Pokemon is I think, and again it's a half step, but now that Fire Emblem's got these full cutscenes, Pokemon definitely needs voice acting and full cutscene because it's a really little weird at this point.
So weird, and the cutscenes are pretty boring, I'd say.
Yeah. So I mean,
it would help a lot if they had.
You know, Zelda's got the full cutscenes and they talk now.
Yeah.
Link still doesn't, but at this point, I don't think Link ever will. And if they do give him a voice actor or someone who actually speaks, people will probably riot. But yeah, at this point, I think it's time for Pokemon to have voice acting because it is a little strange. Yeah. But
speaking of Fire Emblem,
yeah,
I did get back into that yesterday. I started playing it again. I went through Edelgard's route completely.
Okay. Beat
that one. And I was halfway through Dimitri's route, and I stopped to play Astral Chain, which led into Link's Awakening, which led into Witcher, Ring Fit, and all the other games. So I went back, and I finished up to the halfway point of Dimitri's route, which is one of the 3 characters that you're siding with in the beginning. It's either Edelgard, Dimitri, or Claude, and they all have like a different team of people, like a different class of students that you're battling with. So I'm halfway through Dimitri's route, so I'll probably finish that. Hopefully by the end of the year, and then I'll probably start Claude's route on the hardest difficulty.
Cool. Yeah, it's I was looking at some of the Game Awards nominations and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, Fire Emblem got shafted on like just about everything. Like it wasn't in like the Game of the Year contender. It wasn't in a lot of categories.
It was strategy, right?
I think they got put into strategy, but that was about it. So I was surprised. I mean, Fire Emblem's usually one of those reviews. Fire Emblem's usually one of those like highly regarded series, but
maybe we can talk about that at near the end. We can talk about all the
we can bring up the nominations and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll hop right into the news.
News.
So so first topic, the patent for the PS5 controller got leaked, I guess. And did you get a chance to actually look at it?
Nah, I looked at it a little bit. From what I saw, it didn't look too different.
So yeah, spoiler alert. It's gonna look like a DualShock. There hasn't really been much. The PS3 to PS4 change was very much improved because the PS3, the trigger buttons were very squishy. They almost weren't.
Were they analog or were they digital?
The buttons?
The triggers.
I don't know. They were very squishy, and they almost weren't really triggers. They were almost like another set of like bumpers.
So they were probably digital then, because Xboxes are like you can slowly press them in.
Yeah. They were pretty bad, and then the PS4 DualShock was a lot better. Yeah. And the PS5, it looks like, because it's still got that touchpad, but I think it's going to be an LCD screen.
That'd be cool. I don't know what they do with it, but
because the whole touchpad thing. I mean, there was a couple games that used it, but most games just used it more as like another button you can use. I know with some you could swipe and stuff, but there wasn't a
Uncharted,
ton.
You could.
Yeah, Uncharted had a couple of that. And then the grips where you hold the controller, they're a little fatter. They kind of look like an Xbox controller almost as far as like their width goes.
Okay, I think that's probably an improvement.
Probably, yeah, because I like the DualShock, but Xbox I think has a far superior controller. Just
yeah,
I mean they still got the
yeah, I think they could go with some.
So
some
it looks a little wider.
Huh.
But I mean, other than that, I mean the DualShock's a super solid controller in my opinion. But
I still prefer the button layout of that. Or
I do like
stick layout of the Xbox controller, but
yeah, I do too. But it's a nice controller, but
a little bit of room for improvement.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
I think they've perfected the Xbox controller with the Elite.
Yeah, I don't
with
really
the rubber,
know.
especially with the rubber handles.
Yeah,
that one's a little.
Yeah, that one's. So this one's got more of like that textured feel.
Yeah.
To it.
The original controller.
Was very smooth, and it's kind of hard to hold on to sometimes. But I think the Xbox has got the best controller out there.
Yeah. Stadia's controller looks
It looks similar, but I think it's a little. I think it has some connectivity issues and stuff like that. So Saints Row is supposed to be revealed in 2020.
Saints Row 5?
Yep, Saints Row 5 or whatever it's going to be called. Are you excited about that at all?
I never played any other ones.
Okay, yeah, I've played.
I know you did. Right?
Yeah, I played 1, 2, 3, and then I think I skipped 4. And then they ended up making that Agents of Mayhem game that was set in the Saints Row universe, but it was like pretty bland from what I hear.
Was it like a survival game or was it more like a Crackdown game?
No, it was more like I think more of like a Crackdown Saints Row-ish game. It just was different. It had a different name, but it was still supposed to be in the universe of Saints Row.
Okay.
So yeah, Saints Row 1 and 2 were very. I mean, Saints Row 1 was like almost like a direct knockoff of Grand Theft Auto, and then 2 they kind of got a little crazier with the funnier stuff, and then 3 is when they really got into like the craziness, and 3 was an excellent game, and then 4 I think you had full on like superpowers. You were like the president of the world, and you could like fly like it was.
Then they had the crazy DLC for it, which was kind of its own standalone game.
Yeah, I think that was the Get Out of Hell thing.
Yeah,
but I remember in 3 at some point you like went into like their version of like the Matrix, and you were like a toilet shooting a gun and stuff. It was bizarre. It was very crazy. And that's the one in Saints Row 3. That's the one where you have like that giant dildo and you're waving it around. So it was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm all for another Saints Row as long as they turn it down, because I think once they got to 4 and you could literally jump over a building, it was like a little much.
Right.
And then after, I don't know, I still haven't even played the new Crackdown, but I heard that was pretty bad. So
just objectively bad.
So yeah, I'm always down for a new Saints Row. We'll see what they can do.
Shake up the genre a little bit.
But I think earlier this week the biggest thing was the announcement of new Half-Life.
Right.
So we're not getting Half-Life 3.
No.
It's not 3.
How many people have been asking for 10 years.
It's a VR game, y'all. Okay.
Hear me out. Imagine this.
I did watch the trailer though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Looks sweet.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a VR headset, and it's not coming to the PlayStation VR. Maybe at some point it will, but I know they have like the Oculus Go, which is like $200, and that doesn't use a PC at all. And that's gonna be, or maybe that's the Quest. Okay, the Quest.
Oculus Go is still connected.
I think is the Quest connected to a PC? I know it's wireless.
Quest is the hands-free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Half-Life. I mean, it looks super cool. Did you play Half-Life 2 in the episodes?
I played a little bit of it, but not.
So aside from like the Halo 2's like ending, the Half-Life episode 2 ending was the biggest cliffhanger ever.
Really?
Yeah. So like.
Wait, do you need to get it?
Yeah. Let me go grab them.
Half-Life 2. People are all about Half-Life 2. They should have just made Half-Life 3. Should have just made Half-Life 3. Should have kept it on PC, Xbox, PS4, but instead they had to do PSVR or VR instead, which is very silly. Bad move. Unless it's a good game. It could be a good game. In that case, more power to them. But whatever. I can't complain too much. I didn't play very much of the Half-Life series. So, but Portal 1 and Portal 2, they didn't make a third one of those. I think that's what they should be doing instead of working on all their other stuff.
Right, I am back. All right.
Oh, I turned it on.
So yeah, Half-Life Alyx. I'm definitely. It looks super awesome. Half-Life is one of those games that, it kind of revolutionized like first-person shooters. Ever since Half-Life 2 and the 2 episodes, they've really. There's so many games now that incorporate like physics-based puzzles. Like that,
okay.
that kind of
that
like started it. Yeah,
okay.
that kind of started the whole.
Was that before Portal?
Yeah.
So was that kind of what inspired Portal's puzzles?
Kind of. Well, I think maybe not at first, but I would say Portal 2, yeah. And then Portal is in Portal 2 they're in the same universe as Half-Life. So really? Everyone expected like Half-Life 3 at some point you would get a portal gun. So that like the whole thing was like Portal 1 and 2 were kind of training you how to use it. And then whenever Gordon Freeman in Half-Life 3 got the portal gun, you knew what to do with it.
That would have been cool. So maybe it's in the new one.
Maybe. And then like Half-Life 3, or I think in a Portal 2 you get out. And I think a lot of people expected like you to see some sort of monster or something from the Half-Life universe. So that'd be cool. Or like the little head crabs or something. But that was, it was definitely a cool game. But yeah, and then I think the last thing we'll talk about news is the Resident Evil 3 remake rumors for next year. Now, if it's anything like Resident Evil 2, at this point, Capcom has sold me. They between Devil May Cry and Monster Hunter, they've really,
they're on a roll.
Resident Evil 7 was super good.
Yeah.
So the last couple of games have been excellent.
And they said they were going to focus more on remakes.
Yeah. So I imagine they'll use that RE2 engine again. I think Resident Evil 3 I had, but I'd never beat.
I remember I know if you had it, you were on the final boss.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was for Resident Evil 2.
Maybe.
But you were fighting Nemesis.
Yeah. Well, the idea of Resident Evil 3 is Nemesis is much like the Tyrant, or what was his name in Resident Evil 2?
The guy
Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Yeah. Well, you never played Resident Evil 2.
No, I've just heard about it.
So yeah, Mr. X in Resident Evil in Resident Evil 2 he kind of chases you throughout the whole game just about. Especially in that first police station, he's all over you after you.
I bet that's terrifying.
It is very terrifying, especially if you've seen like the mods and stuff of them adding like, I think one added like Thomas the Tank Engine as it.
Oh, I saw that.
And then one added what's the clown's name from it?
I think it's it, right? No, it's Pennywise.
Pennywise, yeah, they added Pennywise, and just the whole like, you could hear him stomping and stuff. Like it's very, very atmospheric, and it really adds to the game. But Resident Evil 3, it's kind of the same thing. You've got Nemesis who's chasing you the whole time, but Nemesis has a rocket launcher on him, and he's smarter, more intelligent.
Mr. X have?
Just Mr. X, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. So if they can knock it out of the park like they did with Resident Evil 2, I'm all for it. And then hopefully they'll make their way up to 4. And
that would be unreal.
Yeah, and they can remake that game and make that game look pretty again.
Do you think now with Resident Evil 2 being remade, do you think that's a better game than RE4 is in its current state?
Playing it, yes. Like, I mean, back then, Resident Evil 4, again, revolutionized like third-person shooters.
Yeah.
But if you go back and play that game now, it's still there's no walking and shooting. You have to stop and shoot.
So I played it on Switch again, and
yeah,
it is a little clunky.
Now, if you have a Wii or a Wii U, get Resident Evil 4 on that, because I hate motion controls, but that game was awesome with motion controls.
That was the best version of the game.
Yeah,
on the Wii.
I think that was probably the best version.
I don't know why they didn't add motion. They added motion controls for 5 and 6 on Switch.
Really?
But I don't. They might have patched it in
maybe
4, but
because I would consider going back in there and playing it if they had a motion controls. That'd be a lot of fun.
I still stand by this, but the last chapter in that game, or the last like 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, when you're on the island, I hate that.
Yeah, there's always like a certain chapter in those games that isn't super great.
Right.
Just like when it kind of opens up and it's not really scary anymore. It's just more of like sometimes it's pretty annoying.
Just get through this. In Resident Evil 7, I hated the ship part.
Yeah, I did too.
Where you're like on the inside of the boat.
Yeah,
it was kind of tedious.
Yeah, it was, and then you could easily get lost, and I remember it being very annoying when I beat it on insane or professional, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Resident Evil, what they're doing with those games is really cool. And honestly, if they do Resident Evil 8 and it's first person again, and then they stick with the remakes as third person stuff, I mean, I'm cool with that.
That's a good way to go. I mean, I'll buy wwhatever Resident Evil 8 is.
Yeah.
If it's anything like 7. If it's in VR, I'll buy it in VR.
Yeah, I still do want to because I'd almost consider, because I think they have like a $200 bundle
for PS4.
For PS4, and it comes with a couple games. So, I mean, I want to go back and play that game in VR.
Best VR experience I had.
But yeah, I think that's everything that we've kind of the biggest news stories. There wasn't too much happening this week other than
and
Half-Life stuff.
If you do want to buy Resident Evil 2, this is not a sponsor.
If you want to buy, we're not saying Resident Evil is the best game in the world, but it's pretty good.
Thank you, Capcom. No, it's on sale for $20 right now, and Xbox is.
I actually don't know if it's on sale anymore.
It is.
It is
until like December 4th.
Okay. Because when I was looking at it after I went back, it said something about like 18 hours or something.
For Resident Evil 2?
Well, just a couple of the games that I checked out. It might have just been a couple of the games.
Yeah, that one's on sale for the next week.
But then it's also on sale, like, if you want a disc, for the disc too.
Yeah, you can get on Amazon and
for $15 or $20, whatever it is. But I always try to check the digital stuff first, just because to the point where like I don't want to buy too much physical stuff anymore.
Right. And digital has really good deals.
Yeah.
When digital was first starting out, like there were just no.
Well, a lot of people were, you're paying the same price for digital as you are physical, but you're not getting like a case and nice artwork or something. You're just getting. So it did take them a while to, catch up with the great sales that they had on the physical media.
Yeah, that's true.
Black Friday is always an exciting time, and usually everybody, I mean, even Nintendo's got usually some pretty good deals. I don't imagine seeing a ton of their first party stuff going on sale.
I know for UK, most of their first party titles are like 30% off.
Okay.
So they're $39.99.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case for US. I don't know when they're gonna like start their sale.
It'll probably be sometime next week or something.
Yeah.
We want to take a break and then we'll jump into the topic of the week.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right, guys, we are on the last topic of the day.
I love this question.
So, what is your scariest game of all time?
You want me to go first?
You can go first, and you can also mention some other games.
Yeah,
too.
I have a few in mind. I really thought about this question. So, I think what scares me the most in games is kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Resident Evil 2, where there's like an impenetrable force.
Yeah.
That you can't kill until a certain point of the game. So I was thinking about some games that had that. Evil Within had that at a certain point in the game. It was like in one major chapter. It was like a kind of like a spider lady that you couldn't kill.
Oh my god, you had like the girl that looked like the Grudge or the Ring or something with that crazy hair and stuff.
Yeah, and you had to set her on fire.
Yeah.
In one of the
that was like, because like I remember you go down like a really long hallway, and she kind of like comes out from the floor or something, and then she just
Right.
starts chasing you. Your immediate reaction is to start shooting, but she's very strong, and you can't.
It's
I
like
think
you're supposed to die, I guess.
yeah, I think you can kill her, but it takes a lot of ammo, but I think at that point in the game you're just not ready for it.
Yeah. So the Evil Within was one of the contenders. I also love that game.
Yeah, I really want to play the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like anytime like she popped up, because she popped up several different times, and they actually had a lot of good monsters in that game. But,
they did. A lot of weird looking monsters.
Yeah, they had like the one guy that had the like the cube over his head or something. And then I think at one point they had 2 of them too.
Right.
It was pretty scary game.
Yeah. So there's that one, and then another one was Resident Evil 7. I think that was scarier because I played it in VR. Yeah. I don't know how scary it was.
It was pretty intense. Like whenever you first get to the house, and then you like your first interactions with your girlfriend that you find, and she's just like crazy, and she's got like the axe and stuff. Like it's
you're running away from the dad.
Yeah.
First, that was freaky. Oh, and then the moment where he breaks through the wall.
Oh yeah.
Walking through the hall. And
that game was really nice.
Had a lot of like really like genuinely scary moments in it.
Unfortunately, with 7, I believe when you really start to open up, I wasn't a huge fan of like the goopy monsters or whatever they were called.
Yeah, those weren't.
I mean,
they didn't really do much.
Yeah,
they were from. Well, they looked like the enemies from Revelations.
Yeah.
Which seemed like lazy character design.
A little bit, yeah. And then like you said earlier, when you got to the boat, it kind of became more of like an action game than anything.
And especially in the last level, we're in the mines.
Oh yeah.
You have the assault rifle, and you're just like barreling down enemies.
Yeah. So I think that's what every kind of Resident Evil game struggles with, is like the last bit. It kind of.
It's like it builds too much momentum.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because you're used to it kind of being scary and kind of slow paced, and then it builds up. But Resident Evil 2 doesn't. I think it has actually a very nice like kind of ending.
Yeah. But so those 2 games, I think the scariest game for me of all time is Alien Isolation.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a very good one. That game is very, very scary.
It takes the monster you can't kill and puts that in the entire game.
Yeah.
And then the guys that you can kill, the robots,
they're terrifying too.
They're so creepy. Oh my gosh. And it's just so dark throughout the entire game. And when you play with headphones, you can hear everything, and you can hear the alien around you. And you're constantly just hiding in lockers or hiding under stuff and like watching the alien pass by. And then spoilers. Near the end of the game, there are multiple aliens.
Yeah, and then you find out there's a whole hive of them.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been just one.
It's been
a lot of them. So that was like a nice little revelation at the end. And that like you said, with using the impenetrable force throughout the whole game, there was times where I sat in like a room for like 5 minutes just trying to figure out like when to go.
It's like double dutch.
Yeah.
You're just kind of.
And then I mean, I feel like at some points, like, because I spent a lot of that game crouched and like walking, like, crouching around. I feel like sometimes you got cheated a little bit. Like there was some, I'm like, really, like, you know exactly where I am.
Yeah, the AI was really good.
Yeah,
it was very unpredictable.
Yeah, that game was pretty scary, especially with headphones on and stuff.
Right. I tried not to play the game at night too much. Even though I actually experience better. I don't want to be that scared.
Yeah, I don't want to be terrified.
Yeah, and that's coming to the Switch too.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get it because I feel like.
Well, yeah, they've got it. It's on Game Pass for Xbox too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Game Pass, everybody. Our weekly.
Our weekly plug again. Like if you don't have Game Pass and you got an Xbox and Xbox Live, pay that extra $5. Get that game. Yeah, there's so many good games. But
so I think that's my
Alien Isolation.
Alien Isolation. But
There's quite a few games for me. I remember the earliest one as a kid, Ocarina of Time, when you go down to the graveyard and you find the Redeads for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then when they jump on your back and they're just like
watching you play that gave me nightmares.
Yeah, it was pretty intense as a kid. And then like at some point you could, if you ran straight through like the acid or whatever, you could make it. but whenever, like every once in a while, you get caught by that scream and you're frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was pretty intense.
That scream is just like ear shattering.
Yeah.
So jarring.
And then there was a couple other games, like Dead Space. The first one was pretty scary, and again they had an impenetrable force at some point in that game that chased you for quite a few levels, and then you were finally able to kill it.
Oh,
I think you sent it out to space or something.
Right.
I can't exactly remember.
What was it? Was it?
It was just it was a necromorph, but it had some sort of like regenerating ability, so you could knock it down to like nubs, but then it would always return.
That came pretty early on too.
Yeah.
Because I kind of replayed a bit of it, like I think it was this year or last year, and I remember getting to that point. I was like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Impenetrable force that I had to run away from.
And I think the first time, like I remember you going through there, and you're running away from it because you realize you can't kill it, and then you're going back through the way you came, and you're like using the stasis to move boxes in front of it and trying to cut it off. It was pretty intense, and just that whole opening cinematic of Dead Space when you go in and then all of a sudden your crew starts getting killed, and then you're trapped behind like the glass and you have to like run through the hallway and get to the elevator in time and then turn around. There could be like a necromorph get ready to kill you, whatever.
That was sweet.
Yeah, Dead Space that's one of those games I really hope they make a Dead Space 4, but I wouldn't mind like a remastered of like the trilogy or something.
Yeah,
that'd be
even though they hold up pretty well visually.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
still be good to have them. Oh, another honorable mention. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Is Dead Space or not? Dead Space 2. No, Outlast 2. Wait, what do you say? Wipe your camera.
We had a lens flare or something like that.
Oh, sorry, man. Outlast 2 was another one that I forgot to mention.
Outlast. I watched you briefly play the first Outlast, but it was kind of like it was almost like a running simulator. Like you just stayed running. So I never got like too into those games.
You kind of get to cheese it at the end. It kind of becomes like a fun game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just gonna run this guy in a circle, then lap around him, and then get to my destination. So that's why I didn't.
Yeah, it was like I actually just recently watched a video of that where like you're running and then like the dude that's kind of like almost like skinned himself. He's like the doctor, and then he cuts your fingers off, and then you got to run. That was pretty cool. But but yeah, Dead Space was spooky. I'm trying to think of some other games. Of course, Resident Evil. It's always got like some of the creepier moments, and but I think the one that really resonated with me was probably the PT demo.
Oh yeah,
because
PT demo.
And I'll tell you why. Is because so that demo was just creepy in general with the, with all the sound and how realistic the graphics looked. Because it looked super pretty.
It did.
Granted, it was just a hallway, so they had a lot. They could really, to put some detail into that game. But,
right.
But when you hear like the phone call, and then you start hearing like what the dad did to the kids and the mom, and then like when you go into the bathroom and you see that weird fetus-looking thing, and then there, at some point you can look through a crack into the bathroom and you can see stuff going on. But then the creepiest thing that I learned, and someone recently went back and kind of looked at the code and stuff, is, and I can't remember the girl's name, the ghost lady, but she is always attached to your back.
Really?
So yeah, so what they've got, and it's kind of like that. Have you ever seen that movie Shudder?
No, Shutter Island?
No, just Shudder. So at the end of that movie, spoilers for Shudder, but the whole time this figuring out that the girlfriend's guy and a couple of his friends killed like this Asian lady, and the whole movie he's complaining about his back hurts, and then at the end when she finds out that what he did, obviously she's trying to get away and leave him or whatever, and then he tries to end up killing her or something. He tries to kill her, but a picture gets taken of him, and you see the ghost lady like strapped to his back, and it's super creepy. And yes, come here, man. So, and then at the end of that, so anyways, with PT, the lady is always strapped like right behind you, like they positioned her on on your camera. So she's always, you can always hear her, you can always hear things, and she's just always there.
That's freaky.
So that's after I learned that even like just intensified like the whole experience.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
What, man? Huh?
You checking the nose, buddy?
But yeah, that game was pretty creepy.
Pretty freaky.
Okay, all right. Go watch your TV, buddy. All right. Yeah, I think PT. Granted, that wasn't like necessarily a real game, but it was a pretty creepy demo.
Yeah, enough to leave an impression.
Yeah,
lasting impression.
So yeah, we're gonna do hopefully a recording next week over Thanksgiving break. And sorry for the audio listeners. My son came in. He's on my lap now, and my dog is annoying in the background. But hopefully we plan on doing. I don't know if it'll necessarily be live, but we'll do an audio version.
Yeah.
Of the podcast. Okay. We'll do an audio version of the podcast for sure, and then we'll decide if we want to do a live one. But if you have, you can always send what your scariest game was to gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com. And
let us know what your scariest game is. Yeah. Let us know why, because we probably forgot some very scary games. So.
I feel like we definitely did. I never played Silent Hill growing up. I know Silent Hill 2 was. Silent Hill 2 was a pretty scary game. Yeah. Yeah, just let us know. Sorry, this last like couple minutes pretty hectic, but yeah, there's probably a ton of scary games that we definitely missed.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of having a brain fart on them right at the moment.
I went through my list of like all the games I beat.
Yeah.
I didn't come across any that I remember.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, just if you send us your scariest games, again, that's gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com. We'll try to figure out what kind of question we'll do for next week. Maybe like what game are you most thankful for this year or something like that. Just something that maybe not your most favorite game, but something that
most surprising.
Most surprising, or a game that you enjoyed or
it meant a lot to you this year.
Yeah,
something like that.
So that'll probably be the question of next week. So yeah, just get those if you want to send those in and let us know. I did notice that someone did review us on iTunes.
Nice.
So we definitely appreciate whoever that was, and if you want to continue to support us, give us another review on iTunes. I don't know if you can do reviews like on Spotify and stuff like that. I didn't see that option, but if you can, that'd be awesome if y'all could. And I think that's about everything.
Yeah, that's about it.
So yeah, we'll I appreciate everyone that tuned in on the live version and that's listening on the audio, and we will see you guys again next week.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. See you next week.
See you later.
What's up?